The manhwa starts with a stormy sky and a giant piece of lightning, which is revealed to be a man's attack as it causes the ground to split. The sounds of the storm go quiet, and we learn about the Fist King, a title given to the man who subjugated the Zhong-u with his bare fist alone. He is called by this title more so than his actual name, Dan Wang. We see him staring down at a man, his eyes seeming annoyed. He then feels a sharp pain in his abdomen, reaching down to feel a wound. He says that he was attacked by a mysterious group. He's dealt with all of them except for the final two, who are looking down at him from atop a cliff. He comments on how they both look skilled, wondering where they come from. Ready to end this, he punts one of the dudes toward the two of them. As he's flying towards them, he asks the sword demon to help him, but Bro took back shots a little too literal as he cut him in half with his two chunks falling to the floor. Wang says that he did that with zero hesitation, so he must be used to fighting dirty. He spots a tag that has the word blood written on it. Wang recognizes it, saying, paired with how cruel he is, he knows who the two of them are now, and that they are from the demonic faction. The sword demon jumps down, saying that he is impressed as he held up for so long and he deserves his title. Wang tells him to shut up, as he'll kill him in just 10 attacks. He begins to widen his stance. The sword demon draws his blade, calling him arrogant as he swings toward him, sending out purple strikes. He says they'll see how long his arrogance lasts. The first attack explodes, but Wang ducks underneath it, charging his hand for an attack. Closing the gap in an instant, he hits the sword demon straight in the chest, surprising him. He drops his sword and begins to spit up blood. Wang says that is one and starts to immediately come in with the second attack, going into a barrage up to 6. He says that this is strange as his attacks are missing all of his vital points. Now up to 9, he says it's like someone is restraining him as we see a faint purple line around his arm. The other person is the one doing it, but Wang doesn't know when it happened. With his momentary distraction, the sword demon grabs his blade, piercing Wang through the chest. He begins coughing up blood, grabbing onto the blade. The sword demon says that the Fist King's reign ends here, but instead his eyes look surprised as the purple aura thread gets snapped with brute force. Wang grits his teeth, rearing his fist back, striking straight towards the sword demon. A massive explosion follows it. As it begins to settle, the sword demon is left with nothing but a graze on his cheek, then begins to laugh out of relief, saying, Wang is one hell of a fighter, as he only missed his attack due to blood loss. But we see it would have deleted this dude. The marionette says that could have been dangerous. The sword demon then starts poking Wang's head, saying if he's going to die, he should do it elsewhere, only to get hit with a surprise upper. He thought he was dead, and Wang says that was still only 10 attacks. The marionette starts to laugh as the sword demon is embarrassed. Wang says his strength is all leaving, so this is the end for him. But he is a bit regretful he didn't hit him one last time, and he wishes he did. He has now died at the hands of the demon faction. Only for us to see a giant blue lightning strike in a courtyard, we are brought to the Jua Mountain safe house, with a woman standing over a bed. She says that was scary as Wang slowly opens his eyes. He's confused as she is asking if he is all right. He wonders where he is, saying it's a surprise he was treated. He sits up in the bed, noticing he has no injuries. She asks if he wants some water. Wang says sure, but is curious as to why she is calling him First Young Master. As he sips his water, he takes a glance in a nearby mirror, only to not recognize his face at all. He spits out his drink like a water fountain and starts trying to take his face off, thinking it's a mask, but with a better look, there is no line on his neck, so it isn't a mask. As he keeps trying, the girl sees him tweaking, saying she'll be back with a physician. He even slaps himself, then does it once more. As she leaves the room, she says that he's hella weird today. Back in the room, Wang says it couldn't have been those from the demon faction, as they just take over the Zhong Hu instead, but he wonders whose face he is wearing, saying he needs to get up and find out. He slowly gets up, struggling to walk even 2 steps. He says his body feels awful. This is your point of view after a crazy leg day. He manages to get to a chair, reading Yunya Merchant Group on the book. He says he's heard it before. It's a large group near Jua Mountain, and he's heard of this, despite having nothing to do with merchant groups. The receiver is the owner of his body, the eldest son, Li Jinan. All of the letters are addressed to him, some about begging for money, others about asking him to come gamble, even one about some huss. Wang says that he is a loser. It isn't sorcery nor a mask. He also doesn't feel anything strange with his body, leading him to believe that he has somehow reincarnated into this body. He sighs, saying he lost his mind.
A man then yells to him as he quickly runs into the room, hitting a crazy pose routine. This is Gong Shan, his physician. Wang begins to cringe, wondering who he is. Gong says he was told that something was weird with him, and he has no idea how worried he was. He begins to check his pulse. Wang pulls away, saying he doesn't need to worry. Gong says he's glad to hear that, and he's prepared his usual meal as they bring chicken soup in. But Wang says he sure is a rotten bastard. To someone who is healthy, it is a good dish, but for someone so sick and weakly, it is poison. He probably checked his pulse, worried by his good health, and it turns out that Gong is nothing but a snake. He says that if he eats well, he can attend the Dragon Phoenix martial competition. Wang then asks how many years the competition has been going on. Gong says around 200. Wang tells him all right and to leave the soup, but he has no appetite, then shoos Gong out, telling him he's sleepy. As he closes the door, he sighs, saying that this means it hasn't been long since he died, which is good as the demonic faction should be alive too. Them, plus the snake-like physician, there are many people who need a beating, but they will definitely get their fill, as this time he won't give them the luxury of more than a single hit.
It jumps to later as some of the maids are surprised as he used to only eat porridge. Now he has a crazy appetite and is exercising regularly. He shoves the door open, and we see he is no longer the frail man from before. Going to call him Jinan since he is in his body now, he asks if they've prepared his breakfast. He approaches it while getting dressed, saying to keep it like this. As they start leaving, they say he looks much healthier. His physician then knocks at the door as Jinan goes to eat. The maids look over, seeing him not happy, wondering if they should let him in or not. Jinan tells him to enter as he brushes into one of the housemaids. Jinan says that he sure is rude as the snake starts to pretend to be happy. It just pisses him off as he doesn't understand why he is kissing him. He smiles, saying he wants to catch this rat. Jinian asks him what he needs, which panics him. He says it's because he didn't hear from him at all, so he came out of loneliness. He then comments on how healthy he looks, saying his effort feels meaningless. Jinan asks what he means, asking if he means when he was killing him with that chicken soup. Gong is surprised, saying there is a misunderstanding as it is a nourishing tonic. Jinan says he could have fooled him. Gong reminds him he is a physician, saying if he isn't welcome, he'll take his leave. Jinan calls to him as he is leaving, saying he came without being called for. Now he's trying to leave without being told to, wondering if he is the master here or him. Jinan laughs, telling him he is joking. Gong nervously laughs too. Jinan tells him he needs to write a letter, so go get him writing tools. As he does so, Jinan says he'll dictate while he writes for him. He says due to his severe illness, he will be staying in the villa for some time. Since his life is so stubbornly long, he wants to be advised on what to do next. Gong freezes up as Jinan asks why he isn't writing. Gong laughs, asking what he's doing, only for the chopsticks to fly right by his neck, piercing into the wall. He feels his neck bleeding as Jinan says that he isn't the man he remembers. Gong, panicked, asks what he means. Jinian says, first of all, the soup, to normal people it's a healthy tonic, but to him, it is most certainly a poison, which he definitely knows, asking if he wouldn't notice him checking his pulse. Most importantly, when he told them to just leave the food as he had no appetite, Gong couldn't hide his killing intent and anger. He clearly isn't acting alone, so he wants the name of those giving him orders. Gong asks why he's doing this, and why he would suspect such a kind man. Jinan sighs, but Jinan stares at Gong, instantly stopping his pretending. He was just trying to let him pass with dignity, calling him a fool. Gong takes a look at the maids, saying he needs to kill them too as he brandishes a hidden needle. Jinan swings down towards his head, palming the top of his skull. He starts to spit up blood while Jinan tells him to stop getting funny ideas as he just needs to listen when being spoken to. Jinan says his hand hurts and his body sure is pitiful. He needs to recover his strength quickly. Once he does, it won't matter even if the mastermind is the entirety of the Union Merchant Group. When he returns, he will investigate Gong thoroughly. He starts to feel a sharp pain, wondering where his headache came from. He hears someone call out to him. He starts getting flashbacks, recognizing that these memories flooding in are from the original body's owner, all pouring into his head. Tears begin rolling down his face. He says he understands now. As the first son of the merchant group, he isn't as smart as his second brother, not as strong as his third. He was a lacking elder brother. He tried to compensate for his shortcomings with money, but ended up coping with simple pleasure. By the time he realized his mistakes and looked back, it was far too late. He was then sent to this villa. If his memories are correct, his main clan wouldn't care about this place. The problem he had originally was being reincarnated without the body's memories, but now he can focus fully on martial arts. He can't believe such an insanely good body was wasted. With his knowledge, he'll reach a high level in no time. He then realizes something else as he looks at all of his money. He says that he hears nothing he can't afford in terms of health items. He looks at Gong's corpse, saying he needs to bury him. I didn't think he killed him, but he must have fried his brain. As the seasons begin changing throughout the estate, we get a 1-year time skip. A man enters the gates saying he has a letter for the young master. This is one of the Union Merchant Group's guard squad members named Mak Inseup. The maid tells him he's training. Inseup glances over at him meditating, saying there is no way that is the young master he remembers. During this time, his energy core manifested. He engraved all the martial arts required for survival onto this body. The enlightened mobility art, enlightened body art, the rapid stride. Also an art that allows him to control lightning, the white lightning 10-phase art. He is currently in the 4th phase. Everything has gone smoothly so far. He jumps off the ground using his hand to prop himself up. He kicks a falling leaf, which breaks into 4 pieces, but he isn't satisfied, saying it isn't enough. Inseup calls out to him, introducing himself, saying he is here to bring a letter from the main clan. Jinan tells him to hand it over. Inseup, still just in disbelief as he remembers him as a Make-A-Wish kid. Jinan tells him to stop making him wait as he begins to read the letter. We learn his father has collapsed and is bedridden, but it doesn't explain why he fell ill. Inseup says he thinks he knows why. It's because of the Yang clan, asking if he knows how they have been paying tributes to them under the pretext of protection. The payments have snowballed, becoming unbearable. Jinan asks if they've done anything to merit increased fees. He says, hell no, they are just dogs. Even when the little deity sect tried to impose crazy trade taxes, the Yang clan said they only meet with the main clan of Yunya if there's a serious issue, but they ended up doing nothing. Their guard captain couldn't even protest, because it was Yang. Jin says he recognized the name. He is a well-known man in the Zhonghu. He's strong enough for someone like him to know of, so he must think the merchants are under him. So if he deals with them, it'll be resolved. Inseup wonders what he means by deal with them, but also says there's another reason for his father's collapse. There was a sword fight between his 2 brothers. After he watched them fighting, he collapsed. Jinan wonders if he collapsed out of anger. Then he says yes. Jinan can't believe they fought in front of their father with swords, no less. Inseup tries to tell him not to worry, but Jinan says nah, telling him to keep the letter. He stands up before him, looking down at Inseup, informing him he will go himself. It then jumps to Inseup telling the other guards that he's changed. He has become an actual martial artist and has a great body. The others start looking at each other before bursting out into laughter, asking if he is taking something. They joke that he is always with women, so he's become a bed warrior. And one of the dudes says that he'd be a legendary warrior of the sheets, telling Inseup that if he's trying to joke, to put effort into it at least, saying that the vice captain has a lover would be more believable, who appears right behind him, asking if the young master had regained his health. We are introduced to Hanyop, the vice captain. Hanyop says that he always had a fine physique, asking Inseup if he knows when Jinan is returning. He says that he has no idea, but then someone shouts, saying that he's here right now. Inseop says there he goes. The guards say it's time to greet him, but one of them says he doesn't want to get up for a good-for-nothing. Hanyop reminds him who pays them. As Jinon approaches the main building, he looks around, saying it's nuts. The Union Merchant Group sure does have a lot of funds to afford something of such a scale. He wasn't just moderately well off. He was born with a silver spoon. He tells two of his maids that he'll go see his father and they can rest up. As he heads off, he is confused, wondering why not a single person is welcoming him. He then hears tons of footsteps as he turns, seeing the guards all welcoming him for returning safely. Hanyop greets him with a bow. He says that he is almost unrecognizable, but he is relieved to see him healthy. The other man wonders if Hanyop has no pride, as Jinon was a violent man looking down on others, and that he's just going to be mocked once more. Jinon puts his hands together, saying it's a pretty good welcome, even though he's just a troublemaker, thanking them all. The guards are surprised that he actually greeted them all for the first time ever. Inseop says he told them that he had changed. They say he's right. Hanyop stares at him, then lets out a warm smile as they all agree he seems like an ally now rather than an enemy. What a cool panel. Inside of the building, Hanyop says he informed his father of his visit. As he goes to enter, someone else does too, saying he can't believe what he's seeing. He puts his hand on Jin's shoulder. This is his youngest brother, Jaon. Jinon doesn't say anything, but Jaon says his expression makes him seem like a different person, as he can even glare now. He begins to squeeze his shoulder. Hanyop says that it looks like he came back to just be smacked like he used to. To try and prevent anything, he speaks up, saying that they've reunited after a good bit, so they must be happy to see one another. Jaon slaps him, asking who he thinks he is touching. Jinon watches. Jaon continues, saying that he's already pissed having to deal with the good-for-nothing. Now he's making it worse, and he's going to teach him a lesson so he won't look him in the eyes ever again. Jinon brushes his cheek, calling out to his brother before slapping the piss out of him as he begins to spit up blood and look confused while falling backwards. Hanyop is speechless. Jaon asks what the hell he thinks he's doing. Jinon says he was excited on his way here as he squeezes his shoulder like he did earlier. Jaon begins to scream loudly, calling him an insane bastard. Jinon says that he should stop calling him names and refer to him as Big Brother. If you watch till the end, drop a comment on what you think will happen next, and watch out for the next chapter. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow.